Yes.
Namaste again. This is another beautiful evening, and today we are joined by an international yoga therapist and a practitioner. But I thought Prashant is here, so I will invite Prashant to introduce our yoga trainer, Dr. Lea Loncar.
Okay. थैंक यू सर. तो आज हमारे साथ हैं 30 साल के अनुभवी लिया लोंकार, जो इस समय 30 वर्ष से नॉर्वे में योगाभ्यास सिखा रही हैं. इनका काफी समय भारत में रहकर भी गुजरा है, जिस दौरान इन्होंने शिवानंदा योग, सच्चिदानंद योग और अष्टांगा विन्यासा, इंटीग्रल थेरेपी, थेरेपेटिक योगा का अभ्यास के पहलुओं को भी सीखा, और अब वो इसका अभ्यास नॉर्वे में सिखा रही हैं.
And she's joined us all the way from Norway and very close to fjords, she just let us know. And she's originally from north of Croatia in a place called Zagreb, but she's also lived in a beautiful city down south of Croatia called Split. And she is also studying psychology. It appears that she has a lot of interest in psychology. And the center that you see in the backdrop, she will be using to perform some and teach us some of some of the asanas or the postures that she has been practicing. And she's been training people here. And this is a yoga shala, as she calls it. So it's all over to you. Welcome, Lea Loncar. Welcome.
Namaste. Thank you very, very much. Thank you to you organizers of this beautiful event and initiative to spread yoga through this medium that we are able to have these days called Facebook, internet, to spread some good practices and some knowledge. I'm deeply honored to be able to contribute with my humble knowledge or insights that has been harvested for the past few years as a yoga practitioner and through teaching, and nevertheless studying through the scientific gaze of psychology. So to start with, I would like you just to hear a little bit of a beautiful sound and just to tune in and relax before we start to see some visual slides and tune our minds into the insights of yoga. Om Purnamadam Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyata Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Talking about yoga is not an easy topic because it's so simple and in the same time very complex knowledge. What I would like you to reflect upon today is how do we embody yoga, or what the yoga practices are doing with us in the overall level of our being, not only the physical being, energy level, emotional, intellectual, and the soul level. Really how it integrates the knowledge of yoga into our system and what really happens. So far, my observation is, even in the scientific circles, that we are focusing on more reductionistic perspective, where we are trying to use yoga as a next fix, to work more efficiently, to think quicker, to rest easier, to regain energy, recharge, and that is all fine. But it really doesn't support in the long run our body-mind system, because we are using then yoga just to maintain the pace of life that has been imposed on us without really reflecting how can we change ourselves and the reality that we live in towards the more balanced, more integrated, more natural, organic reality where things can be done with ease, without strain, without stress. Very much in the scientific field as well, yoga exercises have been proclaimed like a good fix. Like, for example, oh, you do some neck exercise, it's going to fix your neck. Or later on, it has been translated, just do some gentle twist, it's going to cleanse your liver. And headstand is good for your hormones. And then it has been translated even into more energetic spiritual layers. For example, oh, Muladhara chakra, work with that and it will release your fears. So we have tried to use like bits and pieces of yoga to fix different problems in the body-mind area. But what I would like you to invite you towards is have a more of a holistic view. And when I say more of a holistic view is really how can we embody the knowledge of yoga? So everything that we do in yoga practice is the breathing, meditation, asanas, reading spiritual scriptures, being inspired by a quote, or just doing some karma yoga, how all this is going to affect our body mind. And from that perspective, I invite you to think of, there is in Western philosophy called phenomenology, is the whole field of philosophy, psychology, which says that the body is the primary, it's a primacy of the body to constitute knowledge. We cannot know anything without having the body. That's a bit of a paradox because in some yoga traditions, we have actually neglected the body and tried to minimize the influence of body, to be able to detach from the body and just to be in the area of the spiritual and the area of the mind. It's a little bit of a dualistic perspective, dividing what is physical and what we would say prakriti, or the nature, from spiritual. And what I invite you to is to see it more in a holistic view, more in a view maybe like tantrics are seeing the body. Everything is part of this beautiful manifestation calling life or divine. It depends from which context we are coming. How do we call these experiences? So when we talk about physical body, let's talk about the lived body. It's a pre-linguistic subject that constitutes meaning. It means before we can even have a thought or a language, we have perceived, we have experienced through our five senses, through our nervous system, and then we are creating or co-constituting the meaning, the thoughts, we are understanding the life, we are understanding ourselves. So instead of kind of putting body aside and just thinking that, okay, we can fix everything with the mental state of mind. The mental is very much codependent on the body. Even the neuroscience is teaching us we have the vagus nerve. It sends the impulses from the body to the brain, and the brain is digesting it. And according to what we have experienced in the body, the brain will give it the meaning or the thought. So I'm not trying to divide body as a machine and the spiritual as something outside of the body, but they are one and the whole thing. From the experience that I'm coming from, and from the type of philosophy, psychology, and practices that I have done. In that sense, let's see healing in yoga as self-organized. So we are not fixing the neck, we're not fixing the spine, but like in the irrigation system, we remove the obstacles and we let the healing waters come into our system and do the job. So our body is super intelligent. It just needs the right trigger, the right impulse to be able to heal, to reset itself. It is in constant adaptation and change. And when we try to adapt to the speed of life or the pace of your job or the pace of your current situation, you're actually adapting yourself. You're trying to align yourself with your circumstances. I don't say we should accept all the circumstances of life. But what I'm trying to say, Swami Shivanandaji, he said, adapt, adjust, accommodate. This is the highest yoga. So when you see that you cannot pull out from circumstances, try to adapt to kind of sustain your nerve system, your body-mind system, take care of yourself, bring some balance internally to be able to cope with the demands that are in front of you. In that sense, yoga actually just reminds our own system of its own capabilities, or let's say the true nature. So in Yoga Sutra of Patanjali, Sri Patanjali, it said, incidental causes or actions do not lead to emergence of attainments or realization, but rather come from the removal of the obstacles, much like the way a farmer removes a barrier, so as to naturally allow the irrigation of his field. This is what we do. Yoga works as the impetus for a process that is shaped by the momentum of the human system. So we are just helping the system to align, helping the system to be nourished, helping the system to find its own intelligence. And in that sense, we can endure any kind of circumstance. This is one of my colleagues and teachers, Doug Svensson, who lives in the nature, lives in the forest, eats only what falls from the trees, fruits, and he's in all kind of weather comfortable, in all kind of circumstances comfortable, because his system has learned quickly to adapt to any kind of change, circumstances, internally in the body and the mind, as well as externally, like extreme cold weather. Something that Tibetans are also masters of, how to adapt to extreme weather conditions through the practices of yoga. So what Patanjali, from a sage from several thousand years old scripture, says, we are able to alter our behavior through establishment of small changes, through training our system, our body, mind system, our nerve system to adapt, to be plastic, to be in constant change. And we need for that uninterrupted practice over a long time with all earnestness. It means without a break, with really faith or shraddha into what we are doing, what we are experiencing. Now I want to bring another element here, which is a bit of a different kind of quest. Once we come in the balance, yoga also is propelling us to look for deeper transformation of this body-mind system and the spiritual layer of it. So this is where both ideas from Rig Veda or the shamanic ritual part of yoga comes into play, embodying the world and spirits and animals and nature. And this is where the mysticism starts to appear, where we embody different our states of being, which is one of them being ultimate liberation. The radical transformation can be triggered by any unease, actually. Some people start because of the pain in the neck, but this is not what we are trying to fix. The idea that I want to share with you is start with all of the elements in yogas, yamas, niyamas, pranayama, pratyahara. Allow people to experience different levels of yoga, and then the system will itself start to heal, rebalance, and actually transform as well toward a better, sustainable establishment. So pratyahara is also one of the great tools when we can go inward and where we can actually redraw our senses from the world, establish them within our own embodiment, and cleanse them through the sharp lens of dharana and dhyana, concentration and meditation. I also want to say how embodiment of yoga can be visible through the body, and we have some ideas how the yogis should be. We expect them to be calm and soft and measured in their way of being. But that's also another idea that we have. Yogi can be any person, anytime, any place. It's not always visible in the physical system, but there is a certain level of ease and transparency and certain level of contentment that is experienced and sent through the body. So body kind of emanates also its state in a yogi state. Now, what I would like to do the few last minutes is to show you a little bit of what is done in Tibetan yoga, which I found very interesting because it's embodiment of the nature, embodiment of the elements, 5 elements: water, fire, earth, space, air. And it's really about grounding yourself into this world that we are experiencing. It also has a transformational power, and it's not that aesthetically established, and it's not that like Hatha yoga in our beautiful India. It's more disciplined and systematic, and alignments are different. That's why I want to show you Tibetan yoga, just for us to a little bit be better known with Lujong, beautiful practices that I was very lucky to learn from Tulku Lobsang Rinpoche and Loten, my teacher, and I'm very humbly allowing myself to share a little bit of it with you. So please join me, stand up, and let's go in a standing position. And we will spread our legs. I will show you, we go a little bit higher so you can see. Yes. We open and spread. And then we do a little bit of a breathing. Imagine that you are taking a water from the bucket. You are lifting the water and you are splashing the water into your throat area, cleansing and feeling almost the feeling of water in your body. Embody the action and the feeling of invisible water. So you inhale deeply through the nose, take the bucket, from the bucket, take the water, splash the throat area, exhale, going slowly down with your hands. Inhale, splash the water, exhale, inhale, splash and exhale. Relax your arms and just feel a little bit the micro effect on the cleansing breathing exercise. Lung Rose. Now we open a bit more, spread our legs, spread your arms and catch your waist. We will do Drommo Zurdum, which means Tibetan yak rubbing its shoulder. So you have to imagine a huge animal, become that animal. And you're going to rub your shoulder like they want to rub their shoulder. So just take a look how it looks like. We're going to go to the left side, bending the knee, like in warrior pose of Hatha yoga. And then we go with the shoulder like if you want to rub it into the thigh. So you go down and we twist and spin, careful with your back. And then we go up again and we relax. What is interesting is pranayama, the breathing in Tibetan yoga, which is very different from Hatha yoga. You are breathing in the neutral position. And when we go into the pose, we hold kumbhaka. We are holding the breath, holding the breath. Holding the neck area in line with the rest of the spine. And then we go back. And this is where we exhale. We give a try. Inhale. Go to the other side, to the right. Bending the knee, twisting the spine. We are holding the breath. Slowly back. And exhale. This is what we want to do 7 times now. 7 times. The feeling is the grounding. This is the earth energy dominant. Have the feeling that you are the big yak, Tibetan yak, rubbing the shoulder, deep down settled on earth. Inhale deeply. We start. 1. Hold the breath. Go slowly back. Exhale in the middle. 2. Inhale. Hold the breath. Slowly back. Exhale. 3. Hold the breath. Exhale. 4. Hold the breath. Exhale. Inhale. 5. Hold. Slowly back. Exhale. 6. Hold breath. Exhale. Last one. 7. Inhale. Hold breath. Slowly back. And exhale. Wonderful. We do a long rosette. One more time and then we finish. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. If you have a cushion, you can sit, cross your legs, relax your arms, and place your hands on your knees. Elevate your spine, head down. And just listen to the mantra from Tibetan yoga, which I'm going to sing for a few seconds. Om Mani Padme Hum, 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 Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum, 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 Om Mani Padme Hum. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you very much for a very lovely, soothing, and very nice Tibetan yoga. We hope to reconnect again with you and hope to learn a new aspect of Tibetan yoga. Prashant, do you have any question for the audience before we say goodbye to her?
Goodbye.
So I have one small question about the name of the 7-step exercise or yoga pranayam that you did. Is there a name?
For breathe.
No, when you did it 7 times on one
Yes.
side,
Yes.
and then on the other side.
Exactly. Tibetan yak, a rub in its shoulder, and in Tibetan it's drong mo zurdung.
Okay.
Drong mo zurdung. Yes.
Okay.
Drong mo zurdung. Yes.
You very nicely started with the beautiful music of the bell, and then you ended with beautiful water vessel with the voice of the vessel filled with water. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot from all of us. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you. Goodbye. Namaste.
Namaste.